we make India self-reliant. And as industry, we want to grab the opportunity, in fact, with both the hands and develop indigenous products which are world class and environmentally benign. And we firmly believe we can do it. It's a matter of starting, so that we should transition from making parts to drawings to transition from making parts to an intellectual property. And that is the India of future. So friends, on this World Environment Day, I assure you all that the auto industry is going to be working very closely with all stakeholders towards our vision of sustained mobility in the country. Thank you all. Good morning, sir. Pleasure to have you. Ashwath, would you like to welcome Shri Suresh Prabhuji?
Yes, indeed. So I'd like to extend a very, very warm invite to our special guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, India Sherpa to the G20 and G7, member of the Parliament and ex-Cabinet Minister. Mr. Prabhu, we are really excited to have you here at this forum. You to share your thoughts. Thank you.
So let me first of all thank you and congratulate you for taking this opportunity to celebrate the World Environment Day in a very befitting manner. Your industry has been a backbone of India's manufacturing. Bulk of India's manufacturing comes from the automobile industry, and that is what sustains the job creation in even other sectors like services, because what you produce a car, you have to service it. You produce a two-wheeler, it has to be serviced. So right down up to the village level, to the linkage of this industry. And also, on the other hand, it's at a global level, because some of our auto industry has been part of a global supply chain, and therefore they actually sell their products globally. So it's a very interesting industry which knows what is happening in the world. At the same time, it has ears to the ground, because they have to have connectivity with the villages of India as well. So in this, and you actually export to more than 100 and odd countries. So this is a very unique industry and employment generator, economic output provider, ecosystem creator, and many others. So I would like to congratulate you for doing that. Today is a very special day because environment is everybody's concern. And today is a day when probably we are celebrating the World Environment Day for the first time without going out and touching the earth, going out and breathing air, going out and tasting hopefully a fresh water from the river. And all of that we are not doing, and we are celebrating the World Environment Day indoors. And I hope if we are not able to enjoy the environment on a day of environment, I'm worried that if we don't act immediately, we may not be able to enjoy the environment at all. And that is a big challenge we are facing today, that how do you together put our collective efforts to protect what is given to us by the Mother Earth. As we always say that there's only one planet. And the way we are going, we think we have several planets, because we are exhausting all the resources on this planet and exhausting them at a rate which is really alarming. So we are not able to replenish the way we are using it. It's like all of you are in business, so you can understand that if there is a bank overdraft which is given to you, the bank overdraft presupposes that you will draw sometimes and also deposit something else. But if you just on one way keep drawing and drawing and drawing, then the bank manager is going to come to your place and say, sorry, I think I did not communicate to you properly. It looks like that you have an open-ended facility that you can draw any amount and did not pay it. Also like credit card, when you go to credit card company, you think I can keep drawing it, I don't have to pay anything at all. So I think this is what has happened to nature. We are drawing and drawing and not thinking about how is it sustainable? Is it the drawing that we are doing? or is it something which is going to cause serious problems over a period of time, which we are already facing the problems. So there are many challenges of environment. Water is a challenge, and in water, quality of water is a challenge. The quantity of water is a problem. The waterborne diseases is a problem because of quality. Then the availability of water. There are some part of the country where there is no water available at all. And that is what is a challenge. And sometimes we are drawn water from underground. So we are no longer drawing the water, we are mining the water. And that is very dangerous, which brings in all kinds of elements into that water, which are carcinogenic, which can cause cancer. And it is really, really a challenging problem on water. On land, we have seen a huge degradation of land. Deforestation has happened. And whenever there's a land use change, it causes greenhouse gas emission, which in turn causes climate change. So land use change is one of the big problem, and that is because of deforestation. Now, sometimes we feel that we must plant more trees. It's a good idea that we must plant more trees, but that is only green cover. The forest cover is different than green cover. So if you don't have the indigenous forests, which are grown naturally by the Mother Earth, and we take them away, it is same thing because we call Earth a mother. It is like taking a child away from mother and giving some adopted child to her. So mother will never be happy. So the Mother Earth can never be happy by just planting trees, which is necessary now. You have no choice because at least it creates some sort of a carbon sink. It creates some sort of oxygen emitter, and this also absorbs the carbon that goes into the system. So it's good, but not the way we are degrading our forest and land together. Air. It's something which we never thought that air will be polluted like this. And the responsibility for keeping clean air is all collective. I think your industry can also contribute. And we must make air, water, and land as one of the cleanest possible ways, so that not for Mother Earth. Earth is not asking us to do that. It is in our own interest. If we don't do that, we'll have no water to drink, we'll have no fresh air to breathe, and we may not have a proper land which produces everything that we want. And therefore, this is a very challenging situation. First time we are to realize it because of Corona. Why? Because Corona, the causes are being examined by the scientists. One big possibility, and everybody agrees that this is a disease or this is a virus which came from animal to man. That everybody agrees. So animal-man conflict is not today, it is old. Almost 5 million years ago, when the animal and man conflict started for the first time, when the man was moving on the planet. But this has never been as bad because the animals always had habitat. But we are destroying the habitat at a rate which is now bringing the vector-borne diseases outside of this habitat and into the human habitat. So it is very dangerous. Today we are fighting Corona, and we don't know how much we are struggling. We are not fighting, but we are struggling to fight. But just imagine if there are more such viruses come out of animals, what will happen to humanity? So in our own interest, we must keep the environment intact. The cost of degradation of environment is huge. We cannot even calculate it. For a simple reason, it's like you are all in businesses, so you know the importance of cost. So there is a historical cost. When you incur the cost, it is a cost incurred. You buy a property and you put it on rent. You take it on rent. Your rent is a sunk cost. You hire people, is a sunk cost. You invest in the factory which is not running properly, it's a sunk cost. So it's depreciation and everything else will take away the investment. Same way, in case of historical cost, there's something called opportunity cost. That is something like you are missing out today. You are saying that we are missing out an opportunity. If it was not closed down, we would have sold more vehicles, and that's how the business would have been more. That's an opportunity cost. Just imagine in case of environment, the opportunity cost cannot be quantified. You can quantify your losses, 4,000 crores a day, whatever is amount, you can say that. In case of environment, you cannot calculate it. How do you calculate a loss of a natural habitat? How do you calculate a loss of a water body? How do you calculate the irreversible land degradation? How do you do this? And fresh water. which is coming in, and suppose saline water comes in and contaminates with fresh water. How do you calculate it? Because you cannot never get it done. So there is nothing like opportunity cost. But opportunity cost in case of environment is so enormous, cannot be quantified. But that is what we are doing. And therefore, the business has a possibility of finding solution, because you have the ability, you have the technology, you have the managerial expertise. So we must find together as partners of society, how can business contribute to making our environment better in their own good? Because in a way or the other, not necessarily for your industry, but look at many other industries which owe their survival to environment. Pharma industry. Now you may not be in pharma industry, but you cannot survive without pharma products. Whenever you get ill, you need a pharma product. Most of the pharma products owe their origin to some form of biodiversity available by nature itself. So this is something which we cannot afford to do it for our own survival. And again, why are we human beings work so hard? We work hard. The animals work hard for some time after giving birth to the next generation. But after that, the bird or the animal is on free, they go out. But we human beings are attached to the children so much that we want to work so hard to make money for our child, and particularly in India. We want to work that I want to do everything. I have enough, but I want my son to be happy. So sometimes we make it so much that his several generations cannot enjoy it. That's a different thing. But when you want to do so much, I was asking this question to some of my friends. Do you have a reservoir that you must have made in some bank, some locker, wherein you can store enough water which you can give it to your child to last for him for his life? There is anything that you have in your house, can you store it? Can you store it in some bank? It is not possible. So why are you doing so much for your child when he cannot survive without that water, and the water cannot be stored? So why not we store something which is going to be useful to him, which is on his survivally dependent on? It is survivally dependent on the nature. So let us work on protecting nature, protecting environment, and in a way make sure that we secure our own good, but also the future of the next generation. That is what is our responsibility. So there are various dimensions to environment. I don't want to dwell upon it for too long. I have to go so many programs today on the World Environment Day. I am also a little crazy. I have been talking all the time, done already on 54 different subjects. Today's environment, but otherwise so many different subjects. I've been speaking all the time in more than 200 events. So I would like to thank you, congratulate you. And I just wanted to be here to offer you my full support, because this is the industry I'm responsible for it. I was the Minister of Heavy Industry and Public Enterprise. So auto policy was my responsibility. I was the Minister for Industry and Commerce, so you were my responsibility. I was Minister of Environment and Forest, when I said we'll improve the quality of diesel, reduce the content of all the pollutants the air, way back in 1998. So that again is something to deal with your industry. I dealt with your industry from various angles. So I offer you my best wishes. Look forward to working with you, ensuring that we together secure a better future for all of us.
Thank you, Mr. Prabhu, for all your advice and your wonderful words. Certainly, the industry will take all of it to heart and try to go to the next level of environmental sustainability. I would now like to invite Mr. Rajan Vadera to please share the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Ashmit. Good morning, everyone. Shri Suresh Prabhuji, India's Sherpa to G20 and member of the Parliament, the former Union Minister. So we are very honored with your presence here today, and we thank you very much for being a part of this webinar, which is on a very apt occasion of the World Environment Day. So your presence in the event is very encouraging to the entire automotive fraternity, and we seek to continue working with important stakeholders like you in this important journey of making the Indian automotive industry globally competitive and at the same time sustainable, sir. Sir, before you, we also heard Shri K.S. Panu ji, who is the Secretary, Department of Agriculture, Government of Punjab, and he shared some very good insights with us. And SIAM is committed to continue its initiative that we have taken in the state of Punjab for addressing the problem of stubble burning and supporting the farmers with the machines so that he does not burn the stubble. We have got very high cooperation and support from Shri Panuji. And also we have received tremendous support from many stakeholders in this initiative of ours. Sir, I am very happy to announce that as a part of this initiative that we have in Punjab, in the year 2020, we will launch some more interactive lectures at various forums which impact the environment and our responsibility of the auto industry to make sure that there is a huge awareness that is spread so that we become sustainable as we grow. I would request all of you to visit the SIAM website for further updates on this matter. So with those few words, we come to the end of the opening session today. And there is a thematic technical session which would be commencing immediately, and it is going to be moderated by Shri Ashwath Ram. So once again, I would take this opportunity of thanking Shri Prabhuji and